Yeah, we'll go with the flow. If he
We'll
can't make it, he can't make it. Bummer.
Okay, we're going live, so.
Okay. Record.
All right, no swearing, motherfucker.
Oh, you're getting the card. You're gonna get the card.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta turn my phone on.
I gotta turn that on mute. Yeah, turn phones on mute. All right, let me go.
Man's man. Jag är Pokemon.
I think you got me saying motherfucker. Like that's the intro of the video.
Hey, Pandora, help Darren out.
All right. Let's see.
So
we're gonna start in a minute. We just have a little bit of technical difficulties with one of our guests, so we're gonna.
I could tell you have technical difficulties too. I mean, I'm looking at something here.
Oh, damn it! Well, I had it on full screen, but then I had to keep inviting people, so I had to go out of full screen, and then, damn it. Fuck you, Phil.
Don't worry about cousin.
Jose, I'm a licensed pharmacy tech. I can help you with that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Sam will save us all.
Hey, Sam, I think that's the whole reason for my difficulties.
Hey, everybody. Ken, Therese, Kelsey, hi. Michelle, Cindy, Marie, Roland, Ted. Hi, guys. Welcome.
You can give awards now, guys. Look at this. I'm going to give an award.
Katrina, Michael, Christopher Presley. Hello. Hello. Hi, everybody.
Helpful. Uplifting. What is this?
Everybody.
We're just giving everybody a chance to get situated
another
here.
Link and see if we can get back on.
All right, we'll do this. Yeah, we'll do this one more time, and
we're gonna give it about three or 4 minutes. Then we're gonna start. We'll see.
All right, Michael, Amanda, hi.
Diablo, you have his email?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Oh, his email's in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it.
Just so you guys know, we never claim to be professionals, so. Damn it.
And this episode will probably prove it.
Yep, and you know what? And I think it's because the last time you was on, we had the same difficulties. I think it's like a jinx.
It's totally me.
We're blaming Sam for the whole thing.
That's what you get. That's what you get for being silly and inviting me on again.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Darren. Hi, Angie. Welcome, y'all. We're working through some technical difficulties, waiting on another one of our guests. Hi, Miles. Hi, Edie.
Well, I guess we'll just start, and then if he jumps on, then
we'll be good. Y'all cross your fingers and send some good juju into the universe for Darren right now, okay?
Right. So we want to welcome you guys to Haunters Hangout. This is season 10. I can't believe we've been on this long and still are having problems. I don't know what's going on. But it's episode 7. We got some amazing haunters, and you're gonna see their pictures. They're just gonna blow you away. And we're gonna give away a bunch of prizes, and Pandora's gonna let you know what you need to do to win the prizes and how you collect them.
Hey guys, hey. So, yeah, we do have tons of great prizes tonight from our sponsors. As always, please go to them for all your haunt needs. All you need to do tonight to be entered to win is to ask a question in the chat of our guests tonight. I will ask if you would put a Q or the word question in front of that question so that I can pick that out from the chat itself. I'd greatly appreciate it. You're automatically entered to win if you ask that question. You, whether or not I get to your question, you are automatically entered to win. We do ask at the end of the show, if you do hear your name as a winner, that you please contact Diablo no later than Saturday night with your address if you've won a physical prize and your shirt size if you happen to be the winner of the shirt. We appreciate that very much. So for tonight, our prizes are from Horror Ornaments, Creepy Christmas Tree. From Toxic Effects, the Christmas Boo. From Fright Night Studios, we have a pig leg. From Scare It Badges, we have 10 assorted badges. From 916 Productions, we have $25 off. The Halloween Shirt Company, a free shirt. From Ned's LEDs, we have a 5-pack sampler. From Drop Dead Design Studios, we have 25% off. From Nightmare Makers, we have 2 unfinished skulls. From Sam Haynes, we have a free download. From Atmos Effects, we have a free download. Fright Props, $25 off. Rotten Prop Works, a set of zombie arms. From Monsters Alive, $25 off.
Well,
And
it's not $25. I'm sorry. They're gonna pick what they send you.
That's right. That's right. They're going to go ahead and do a surprise grab bag gift. Thank you for that reminder, Diablo. A grab bag gift from Monsters Alive. And from Cobwebs and Candlesticks, we also have a grab bag surprise gift.
Yeah.
And we would also like to make mention of the fact that on our season finale this year, VFX Creates will also be providing a super great, super high-end, super oh my god prize. So please make sure you tune in for our season finale. And thank you again to all our sponsors. We so appreciate you every season for providing all these great prizes. And with that, Phil, would you like to introduce our guest?
Oh yeah, just to add to the carnage in the beginning. Welcome to the costuming show. You know, this is going to be a great show. No, just kidding. Welcome everybody. We have Home Haunters episode 2 tonight. So this is going to be some great stuff for all of you that do all your home haunts. There's some great work. It's going to be an amazing show, and we can't wait to show you some of these photos. So without further ado, we'll get into our panel tonight. And before I get into Jeff and Chris, I just wanted to say to those of you viewing, we did have a 4th guest tonight. Hopefully he jumps on. His name's Darren, and we will definitely be giving him a shout out throughout the episode. If he can't make it on, we feel bad. But technical difficulties, we can't always work through it all, you know. But without further ado, let's bring it to the top here. So Chris and Jeff, why don't you guys give us a little background on yourself, and yeah, go ahead.
So we've been doing a home haunt for about 22 years, isn't that what we just decided?
We decided 24, but that's how relationships work.
24.
I've been 24. We can't do math.
Yeah,
He's a
I can't
programmer.
do math. Yeah, in the late 90s, we lived in this house for over 30 years, and we started decorating for Halloween early on, and then it just kind of snowballed. Started out with just some tombstones in the yard, and then Chris found this online internet site where there were props you could make, and she found this crank ghost prop, and we put it in the window in our shop window and at the end of the driveway, and people started stopping and looking at it, going, "Oh, that's really cool." And that's when I got more involved.
That was 24 years ago.
Yeah. And then she found Terror Syndicate and bought all their books and videos. I gave them to her for Christmas. We made a lot of Monster Mud Men.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just kind of snowballed after that. And more and more. We're kind of known for our funny tombstones, kind of elaborate, fancy tombstones. And funny
And a
ones,
lot of foam work.
working with styrofoam. And then we decided early on, if we got stuff that was big, we started making a lot of things out of wood frames with styrofoam over the top of them, kind of like theater sets, because that was one of my old backgrounds. And we decided after a while that they just couldn't hold up over the years, that screwing things back together all the time and keeping them out in the weather, they were just starting to rot, fall apart, and we had to keep replacing them. So we started building things out of solid styrofoam. We built a big monument that was kind of
Eternal Flame I just posted.
Yeah, Eternal Flame picture. And then we built a mausoleum, and then we built a giant chapel. And it's kind of our evolution over the last 24 years.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
Even
Hey,
back
can I
in
have
the
you guys?
days, you guys had like amazing stuff. I'm like, man, we'll never measure up to the brick
Oh, yeah.
building.
It's not
Too much time on our hands. That's the problem.
Davis Graveyard, OG, 100%. Yeah.
Yes.
100%. Real quick, I don't mean to interrupt, but I do need to ask a question of the audience real quick. I do see a couple of folks saying that we're frozen. So if y'all can hear me right now, can you just give me a thumbs up and let me know that we're still live and all is well and you can see us? Well, of course you guys can see us.
Well, I'm giving a thumbs up for everybody else.
Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, please continue. Please continue.
Is Darren back? Oh, sorry. I just want to make sure. Is Darren back?
That's us.
Darren, you there?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay, all
He's
right.
like, I had to come
Hi,
upstairs.
Darren.
Get closer to the Wi-Fi, man.
Yeah.
Darren.
My God, this is stupid.
Awesome. All right. Well, real quick, Darren, before we go over to you, Jeff and Chris, is there anything else you wanted to kind of give your background? Like,
We've been doing this for a while. We've been involved in like HauntCon and West Coast, and just within the Halloween thing, we just keep expanding and trying to do more stuff to help the community in general. We used to have the Home Haunter DVD collection until, nobody buys those anymore. Just kind of try. That's kind of when we've been doing this, we've kind of learned to try to help as people as much as we can.
We always get the question about people asking if we'll sell things to them or if we'll make stuff for them. And we early in the beginning, we decided that what we do instead is teach classes, show people how to build what we build. I mean, everything we do is all self-taught, so there's no special magic. We're not like great artists or, we had some sort of special training before we started all this. It's all
We're just like everybody.
It's all a bunch of mistakes that turn out eventually to look good. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
So we decided to teach
creative
everybody
couple, man.
Haunt couple. Haunt
It's
couple.
called a haunt couple, the creative couple. I hate both of you.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We'll come back up top here with some photos to show everyone. Now that we got Darren, why don't you give a little background on yourself and your haunt?
I started doing this, I think it was 4 years ago or so. I did a Western town when I was on once before, and then I took the next year and I made it bigger. And I mean, since that, I can't stop. It's just a passion. I saw like Chris and Gina stuff from Hollywood Haunter and just was like, yeah, I need to do that. So I've been going from there, and I'm doing the whole, I want to change theme every year, and it's kind of harder to do, but it's more challenging than fun. So
nice.
You'll get to see the past 3 years in my photos that are going to come up.
Nice.
So would you say the Hollywood Haunters were your main inspiration into getting into like Halloween or building sets and stuff like that?
Yeah, kind of. I started doing I did a lot of like Christmas displays, and I did Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh no, the other word.
I know.
Just kidding.
Couples and Christmas, and
I'm so sorry. But I did Nightmare, Jack Skellington, and then I decided I wanted to do some Halloween stuff because the transition from doing Jack at Halloween all the way to Christmas, like my props were out there for so long and they would get weathered pretty bad. So I was like, yeah, let's do real Halloween stuff. And then and I saw them on YouTube, and then I just got inspired with that Western town. So I started with that. And like I said, I did it 2 years in a row, and then went, yeah, I'm doing different every year, and I'm hooked. I don't even do the C word anymore.
Nice
I put up
catch
a
there.
couple likes. That's it.
I've got another
Nice.
C word for you then. Convert.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Darren.
Yes.
We'll move over now to CJ and Matt. All
Yo.
right, guys, give us the lowdown.
Oh man. I'd say my earliest memory of building a prop with my dad, I think, was 97. And that really, we built some alien. I can't remember all the details. I just know it involved a blender. I don't know what the blender did. I can't remember, but that did it for me.
That sounds horrible.
I think it just made its arms move. I'm not 100% sure, but that was it. And then
Had to move pretty fast.
I think what was it? 13 or 14?
I think it was 13.
Me and him met through my wife. Oh my God! There's a raccoon in the fucking.
Oh no! Are you serious right now?
We can't make this shit up.
Oh my God! It's coming down.
Can you tell we're live?
Oh.
Talk about technical difficulties. We have a fucking raccoon.
Oh man.
Well, it looks like he's just gonna hang out for the show. Where'd he go?
Well, got to get a raccoon trap.
Okay, anyway.
Got a raccoon in the shop.
So, all right.
wow.
Sorry, we're back here. You keep your eyes over there while I do a little bit of talking.
Okay.
Where was we?
How me
So,
and you met.
Yeah, how'd you guys meet?
No, we were in blenders and then raccoons. I'm not real sure
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, I'm terrified right now. We might have to move shop. But anyways, yeah, about 2014. It was either 13 or 14. I'm not 100% sure. But
That was a big raccoon. What it was me and his wife. His wife's sister is actually my fiance, and so we had just met, goofing off and stuff like that. And I was actually working at McDonald's at the time, and he hit me up and he's like, "Hey, I'm working on a little yard display. Me and my dad do it every year. Do you want to come over?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure. I'll be over there after work." Go over there and make a black bloody fence. And then we hung out ever since and stayed in garages with raccoons.
I love this.
Awesome.
Fantastic, guys.
there's more. There's a whole lot more to that story of how we did our first hunt. But it's pretty it's kind of sad and stuff like I don't really want to get into it.
That's fine.
But yeah, the first one was I'll make it short. It was a charity hunt for my parents. My mom gave my dad a kidney. They're both off of work. So we put together a charity haunted house and raised a bunch of money and
kept the tradition alive.
Yeah, he died the following year, and then we just kept the tradition alive. So
sorry.
That's
I think
very
you have
sorry, but a beautiful story and how this,
Yeah, I think y'all have a picture of the first hunt we did. So,
Yeah,
and that he was actually a part of, which I think is one of the reasons why me and him have stuck to it as long as we have, because it's one of those things where if you see the first one,
we grew.
You definitely see progress.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it goes,
Absolutely.
isn't it? We all
Oh, yeah,
start
definitely.
somewhere, and yeah, for sure. So, yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Make sure you mute yourself so when I see a blob go across the screen, I don't hear all the
Sounds good. Once we're getting attacked, if we're not on camera together, just guess what? We have ran.
We have all in the chat decided that tonight's drinking word is raccoon. So cheers to raccoon.
Awesome. And then we got the lovely Sam.
Hey, well, last time I followed Rob Beach, and I think the raccoons have beat him on this. I don't know how you follow a raccoon attack here, but well, I'm only on here to fulfill the F-bomb requirements. So I have my jar ready as we speak, and all my little notes. So I guess we've been doing the home haunt for about 11 years now. We're in Southern California, about 50 miles from where Jesus lost his sandals at. Nobody's here. My husband is a reluctant haunter. He does all the framing for me. He humps out the big stuff. And his official title is the assembler of the 12-foot skelly, which he absolutely hates. Yeah, that's about it. I just make stuff with, I have no special talent. My photos
Not true.
Well, my photos will show. I can kind of throw a bunch of shit out in the yard and make it look okay, from old wood and PVC pipe and stuff. That if I can do that, anybody can do that.
Right.
So that's
inspirations. Who's your inspirations?
Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
You're looking at one right here. No, I'm just kidding. Inspiration.
Yeah. So is there anybody that you follow that got you into it, or anybody you looked at that was like, oh man, I want to do that? Or
oh yeah, well, the Hollywood Haunters, Alan Hops. He was young on YouTube Wednesdays then.
Oh yeah, the Wednesdays, yeah.
Yeah, Spooky Blue.
Spooky Blue, yeah.
And then from like the Haunt Forum and Halloween Forum, Therese himself, Rutherford Manor Haunt. They're just amazing. And she was always generous with answering my crazy questions on how you do things. And probably also the other woman is Tara's Lair.
I agree. Yes.
Scary Lady videos. Yes.
Learning how to make those tombstones out of foam.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
That was memory lane right there.
Yeah, it really was. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Sam. So I don't think any of you guys gave your haunt name, so kudos to you guys. But so when we go back through, make sure you guys mention your haunt name and where you guys are located, so maybe some local people can find you guys. But we'll bring it back up top to Chris and Jeff, and we'll share some photos of what you guys create.
Ooh, spider. That's the scariest thing in my yard.
Chris is not a big fan. Spiderfest. Spiderfest?
First off,
I remember Spiderfest.
What's your haunt?
Davis Graveyard, and we're in Milwaukee, Oregon, just a suburb of Portland, Oregon.
There you go. Perfect. So did you guys carve this guy out of foam too?
He is partially foam. His body is foam, and then like Bondo to death, and then 8 layers of black paint, and then legs are made out of friendly plastic over wire
frame. Yeah, I mean, and it's amazing. And all those legs come off so that we can store it easier. So they're all magnetically connected into it. So he comes apart in pieces, which is always something where our crew has to learn to do that for storage.
Huh?
He's probably 10 feet.
They wanted to leave it in the basement forever, and I said, absolutely no way.
Yeah, Chris thinks too realistic.
Yeah, don't go in that part of the yard.
What was the plastic you guys mentioned? Do you mind elaborating on that?
Friendly plastic. It's the beaded plastic that you heat up in water.
And you can kind of mold it to pretty much anything you want.
Oh, thermoplastic.
And it comes in black,
Yeah.
so it was easy to do.
But if you use it for us, we're pretty cool, but it does melt. So if you get above 80, like in the sunshine, if you make something out of it, it will melt.
Couldn't leave it out in the sun, in the
Right.
summer sun. It would start melting.
Right.
So keep it in the house.
Oh, the old Abbey.
So this abbey was one of those theater set abbeys, and it's actually based on a real abbey in Scotland, I think.
It was Holyrood Abbey.
Holyrood Abbey.
So
we took some pictures and then basically designed it. It's all flat, but we ended up, I think in this picture, you can kind of see.
You can see like the inside. Yeah, we kind of made it. We put panels on the inside, then we had to make a sandwich piece that went in between to make it give it that 3D effect.
Yeah.
That we.
But it took a scissor lift to set up.
Yeah, it was a very, very difficult. It was probably about.
It's all 4x8 sheets of
80 panels plus
1 inch white.
So it took us a week. It took us about at least 48 hours, if not longer, to set up. So it's been pieced out among other haunts around the country, I hear. So we miss it. Bye. Happy.
We were just talking about Rutherford Manor and Therese and Hugh, and Hugh has a question for you guys, and he says, based on the height of a lot of this, the old Abbey and now the new, how do you mitigate the wind factor?
We're just really lucky.
Yes.
Well, alrighty then.
A little bit
it's not as windy where we are, so I mean there are places in the country and also even here in Oregon,
like anybody
that we couldn't do what we do if we weren't nestled in this little neighborhood, because it would get affected by wind. That tower to the chapel there in that picture has a 55-gallon drum full of water
at the very bottom. The bottom one is just all full of water. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, so that's got a 55-gallon drum of water all the way in it, which really holds it down and keeps it in place.
Then there's huge PVC,
and
like
there's
8-foot,
2-inch ABS PVC pipe in every section that's 4 to 8 feet long. So it could wobble all over the place. That's 30 feet high. It's in probably 1, 2, 3, 4 8-foot sections.
Right.
Wow.
And it's really the top is very open on purpose, and we doing it with foam and doing very long. I mean, those pieces of PVC when we have to put them in seem stupid long, but they're good for because if you did it short, it would just knock itself right out. So you keep them like 8 feet long, 4 feet on each side. It definitely helps it not break.
Right, and that opening at the top, I imagine that helps the windbreak, so it helps to go through instead of taking it down. Yeah. Okay.
Woodpeckers.
Ken would like to know, how often do you change your facade, or do you just add to it?
Just add to it.
Yeah, we've gone with the Davis Graveyard. We've just kept graveyard theme is what we do. So we just move in and out stuff that's graveyard themed.
New tombstones every year, rearranges the layout every year, but it's all the same props every year. Just added to it.
Yeah, why
it's
would you
beautiful.
change? It's amazing.
Yeah, you are the graveyard masters. There's
if
no
you
doubt
saw
about
the front real fence, that's really that little brown where you see right there. That's a real fence that runs all the way around the property. So it looks like a graveyard all the way around. So makes it easy. That's added part of the house.
Nice.
Ted would like to know, do you
these out of foam too? These are amazing. I'm just playing. Sorry. The leaves.
Oh. Ted would like to know, do you find that making the tool you need to carve with is just the way to go? I'm confused a little bit by that question, Ted. I'm going to assume he means, do you make your own tool to carve with, or do you purchase those tools?
We use a bunch of everything. We have hot knives to spoons to steel wool to it's everything for us. Whatever works that moment.
Lately, we've been using a CNC machine to do fancier epitaphs.
We've branched into a little bit of demand products, bigger wire cutting pieces. So we've definitely gone beyond the normal budget, I guess, to do some stuff. But when you do something that big, you have to do the price.
When it comes down to it, though, a single tombstone, we almost all just carve the epitaph with an X-Acto
knife. Still.
And the outside edge is just, rough it up with some
whatever tool
rasping tool that you have, a wire brush, and a simple knife to cut the top. It's all really just hand done, and then just detail painted.
Mm-hmm.
What What is the size of your property? Alan Hops would like to know.
The house sits on a half an acre. It's a double lot.
Half acre,
That's
double
our
lot.
shop behind that building right there.
Yeah,
That's
those 2 roofs over
40
there.
foot by 25-foot shop, 2-story, which is half a wood shop and then half a prop shop.
That's why the facades have to be so high to hide that.
Right.
Now, I know you mentioned earlier something about woodpeckers. Is that a problem you guys have? And
Yes. Wasn't until we started building all these solid styrofoam pieces.
The sound apparently they really like.
And once we started, the bigger pieces we built, the more they wanted to go after us.
Have you found anything that deters them away?
Nope.
Nothing.
Not even like fake owls. We've tried all kinds of
Sounds,
stuff.
everything.
It's
Nothing that I
coming
would
back.
want to put in the yard. It's apparently really shiny objects work, but I'm not putting
I would
streamers in the
say
yard.
it's worse when the weather's nice. They'll come out when it's sunny and warm, but if it's rainy and drizzly, we don't see it much. So
Which is good for us because we're in Portland.
it depends on the season. This is our old 3D Access Skull driver. The voice of this driver is Dick Drew.
It's one of the first.
One of the very
voices
first voices he ever did for us.
God, it's got to be in the early 2000s.
Early 2000s,
Yeah.
probably had him do it. It's got LED flicker eyes that are real eyes that flicker up and down, and the head moves around. And he's just sitting on a foamed carved hearse, horse-drawn hearse. Old Bucky skull. Probably this one's an old plastic.
That's a
skull.
plastic. Look at the fingers.
Amanda Mays would like to know, do you have an off season or are you building pretty much all year round?
We slow down in the winter.
Just because of too much rain where we're at, and because
And cold.
But we're starting to already pick up right now.
Yeah, if we're not working on the convention, we'll be working on our stuff. Our main build season, like everyone else, is June through September. This is a projected ghost. We have 6 or 7 of these in the yard, all handmade by us. So the ghosts in them are our friends for their kids. And they're just projected on black scrims in different places of the yard. This one's a rear projection from the mausoleum.
That must
And
look
they're just
amazing with all the floating stuff going through the graveyard. I can't, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been doing this for a very long time. Now you can buy some really cool projections, but we've just kind of kept with we call it the homegrown.
Yeah, we kind of like the fuzzy, not real high polished, detailed ones. So we kind of like our cheaply made projections.
Cheaply made, like the cheap stuff.
And it's popular with the neighbors and the people that come by, so we just keep them.
Ted would like to know if the neighborhood gets involved at all.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the Davis Graveyard is a crew. It has a core crew of neighbors that have become our friends and family. There's probably 7 of us that work on it year round that are the core group, and then there's up to 20 people that come help set up and take down and help with some of the bigger stuff.
Yeah, we've been doing this so long now. Even our city hall decorates for Halloween with tombstones and stuff from us, and we helped them with a scarecrow contest. So it's gotten very community involved.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
Number one thing I'd say to anybody who's having trouble in their city with their home haunt, get involved in your city. Join a committee, volunteer, do stuff for them. The more you're involved, the less they'll hassle you.
That's so true.
The more slack they'll cut you if you need some special treatment, like your streetlight covered.
When our HOA freaked out on us, we joined the HOA. Now we're fine.
You can't beat them, join them.
Join them.
It's a good point.
Thank
Awesome.
you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll come back to you. So next, Darren's not there. Darren, you there? There he is. Okay, good.
Yay.
All right. So, Darren, let's go into your haunt here.
Why don't you tell us the name of your haunt and where you're located,
Yes,
Darren?
exactly.
Haydenville Haunter in Moreno Valley, California.
Perfect.
Sorry you don't get the cool backdrop that was behind me earlier. That was a sneak peek of this year's haunt. So, here we go.
Have to stay tuned on YouTube.
That's right. Well, if I ever upload
Facebook.
anything. So this here, like I was saying earlier, when I did the Western Town from, with the inspiration from Chris and Gina from Hollywood Haunter, this was the next year. I believe that's 2019. I took what you're seeing there is that mine shaft that you go inside. I took what we did for Midsummer Scream, the Tiki Terror. It was a lava entrance, and I took that and flipped it upside down and added to the bottom, and then did all that rock work on the outside. So you went inside, and it played like a whole program. There was a screen in the back that made the mine shaft look longer, and there was a collapse of rocks, and then some ghost comes out and flies around, and then ended up being a pneumatic prop that jumped up and screamed at you, and that was when it let you know to leave the mine shaft, and then you went through the western town of Haydenville.
Hugh would like to know, Darren, do you have a backstory?
I did have a backstory on that one there in the western town. I couldn't tell you exactly what it was. I came up with something on the fly, and it was on my little flyer. But Haydenville, the whole Haydenville came from my daughter named Hayden. And I started thinking of a name, and it popped in, and it stuck. And then my older daughter was kind of upset because I named it after Hayden. So in that western town, there was a soda shop called Sophie's Soda Shop because her name was Sophia. So I had to put her name in there somewhere.
Right. What'd you make the brick out of? What'd you make the rock out of?
So all of that is, and if you would have saw it earlier, what was happening behind me, it's chunks of foam and cardboard boxes, mainly beer boxes.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Yeah, raccoons.
Raccoons.
So it's, I kind of do chunks of that stuff, and then it's just the crumpled up paper and spray glue, put it on there, and then I go through. I tried to texture it with a hopper gun, but it had too much of a, indoor drywall texture. So I would mix it up just really wet and paint it on. So that's all painted on with just wet tile mortar, and then go back and paint it.
How do you break that down? This is what I really wanted to know.
Yeah.
Well, that one there broke down to go in the trash, pretty much.
Oh, I was
knew
hoping you weren't going to
I knew
say
I was
that.
gonna. I know. I knew I was gonna change the theme for the next year, so there was no use in keeping a 40-foot long mine shaft.
So Ken's question was, so it's not weatherproof, which I think we have determined it was not, correct?
No, it's not. But with the tile mortar on over that paper, it kind of seals it up pretty good, because we had some monsoon stuff come through and it rained on it, and it didn't bother it at all.
Yeah.
This is a nice one. This is a nice little setup.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of
So-
skids.
So when you left that mine shaft to your left there, you got corralled into a saloon, which was the Broken Spoke Saloon, and you got to walk around inside there. There was a skeleton drinking, like the Pirates of the Caribbean drinking skull. Some old skeletons playing cards. I had a bartender in there that would keep your attention, asking you what you wanted to drink. And as he was keeping your attention, had a drop panel right behind you to give you a jump scare inside that. And that's just what it looks like at night with the haunt lighting on.
Is it
You
a
couldn't
static
see
walkthrough, or do you have live actors in there as well?
There was live actors in there. This year, that what you're seeing, the year prior there wasn't. It was just kind of a display. This year I had, actually it was the kids wanted to do it, and they were scaring people more than anybody else. So,
and just for
they were just
me,
having some fun in there.
looking at this display, is this all in your front yard, your backyard? What's the size of the property? This looks pretty large.
That's all in the front yard there.
Wow.
And as you can see, it's all dirt because of what I did. I killed the grass.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
Haunters killing grass.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Right? Once you left the saloon there, that was, coming out of there, you had the jail cell. You could walk inside that one too, and there was a prop on there's more bars inside, like as a jail cell to your right, and had a guy laying on a cot, and it had a sensor in there, so when you would walk in, he would pop up and scare you.
Bobby would like to know, how long does it or did it take to assemble this haunt?
That haunt there, that's the next year. That picture. Whoops. That one there, because I had built it the year prior, and so everything was pretty much built and ready to go. I just changed the layout a little bit. That one took me, just over a month or so to set up. The mine shaft is what, like the jail and everything you're seeing here, that was already done from the year prior. So it went up pretty quick. Making the big mine took the time there.
Nice.
Bob would like to know, where'd you get all the wood from? And did you toss that after the season was over as well?
No, all the panels I take down, and now, because I'm changing my theme every year, I reskin them and use them all again as long as they last. I don't have a covered storage, so they don't last forever.
Understood. But, yeah.
And then the little teaser. What theme was this?
That was the next year when COVID happened and we had to do full-on display, no walkthrough type stuff. And I did a swamp theme.
Nice.
So that was right as you walk. I wanted to do... I wanted people to walk through. I want people to get scared. So I did like a little hybrid thing. We did the display, but you could walk through the display one family at a time. So you actually got to walk around the property and go up and over that shack you're seeing in the back there. And it just had animatronic stuff. There was no live actors.
Now, you said that you leave most of the wood out all season. Does that mean, there's been several questions from folks that wanted to know, are you storing it somewhere on the property, or are you leaving it up all year round?
It's stored on the side of my house for now. I'm running out of room. Because every year I tend to build a little more. So it's there for now. But yeah, just the wall panels, I stack them up, tight, and try to cover them with tarps and stuff.
We try our best to get creative with storage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm, all of us.
It's Tetris. It's a game of Tetris.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, Darren.
Yes.
All right. We'll move on to Haunt Bros. All right, guys. So,
Hey.
what we got here?
Do we still have a raccoon?
No. I don't know if y'all have noticed, we've been looking up and over a lot. Every noise we hear, we're like, all right. But usually they go out at night. I think he was sleeping in the wall behind us.
Oh.
But not 100% sure.
I asked him to stay, and he just wouldn't move on.
All right, let's take a look at this photo over here. What do we got? What are we looking at?
That's actually last year's build.
Yes.
So we so both of us like right after we got started, like 2 years after we started doing the home hunt thing, we had full walkthroughs, and then we kind of got heavily involved with the local haunted houses because we got the attention and they wanted us to come work for them and stuff. So this was the first year that we actually didn't work in a professional haunted house, and we decided last minute. I think we did this in 3 weeks. Yeah, we did this one in 3 weeks
from scratch.
Like
it's a full frontal facade in front of his house because, like he said, we were used to doing full haunt, like home haunt walkthroughs.
But COVID hit.
But then COVID hit, and then we decided to just branch out and like test our limits and actually try to make like a full blown facade like this.
Yeah, it was just testing the waters with this one because we couldn't do. It got really strict here, so we couldn't really. We didn't want to risk getting shut down, so we didn't even attempt to do our walkthrough, and we just tested the waters with this facade.
So before we go too much farther, what's the name of your haunt and where are you guys located?
We were
we were originally the Hatler haunt.
Yeah, for years,
and then I kind of felt like it was selfish because I was kind of getting all the glory when it was really me, him, and there was others that helped along the way. So we were both kind of into video games, so we decided let's just go with Haunt Bros. And that's just kind of how it started.
Nice. And you guys are located in Kentucky, correct?
Yes, right. Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep. And Bri Baker would like to know, based on that photo that we're looking at, is that repurposed pallet wood that you were using?
No, that is, well, technically yes, but technically no. So his dad actually works at some warehouse that's a couple exits up from my house. And this is actually the Luan that comes on top of the pallets. And we just ripped it down into strips to make siding.
Nice.
Which, with that being said, that stuff is not as durable as you'd think.
No,
it's pretty much good for a season. As horrible as that sounds, and it sounds like a waste, it's good for a season, but it's one of those things like we're used to making new stuff every season. So it's like, would it help to have all of these panels? Yes. It would cut back on a lot of our work. But then again, if we don't have all of that work to put into it, what's the point in doing it in the first place?
Alan has a question for the raccoon for you guys to ask him. Is he willing to wear a costume this haunt season? He sees you have no issue wearing a mask.
I told CJ straight up, if I could grab that thing and actually put it on camera, I would.
Hopefully in the next few days, like we're animal lovers, so we're not gonna like try to kill it or anything, but hopefully in the next few days we'll have it trapped and we'll just take it out to Brandenburg or something.
Yeah. Hey, there's a raccoon right there.
There it is.
There it is. There it is.
Just peeking out. What's happening?
Believe it or not, the same wood that is on that facade is actually behind us. We did that.
Oh, nice.
We did.
It is durable indoors.
Yeah, we literally did that a couple hours before the show.
Wow.
We didn't want a boring blank.
We just had a boring garage ball, and we're like, oh, well, we got show in a couple hours. Let's do something.
Bobby Platt would like to know, do you guys ever run into any creative differences between the two of you?
We talk a lot.
Yeah, we're with each other 24/7.
Yeah, we actually, like, our day jobs, we work with each other. We're around each other all the time.
So I'm assuming the answer is yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, but we always come to an agreement.
Yeah, It's one of those things. It's like, I'm going to build it, and he's going to paint it. So we kind of have to agree somewhere because one of us isn't going to want to do it, and we kind of need both of us to be on board. So we got to figure it out.
For instance, with the picture that's actually up on screen, it's one of those things where, okay, that picture, it wasn't supposed to be this big.
Yeah, I go overboard.
Well, it was also, when it comes to creative differences, CJ built part of it, and I told him, I said, nah, it needs to be a little bit bigger. And he's like, oh, yeah, really? It means I got to work more.
So do you guys have a background?
And then we also, he does a lot of the painting, but he's also afraid of heights.
I'm fat, so that means that gravity does not like me, and I do not like ladders. So we'll just throw that one out there.
So he has to teach me the technique down low so I could do it up on the second story.
And everybody's like, oh, that beam will support you. Dude, I've got a ladder up here. It'll support me. And I'm thinking, I know where we started, and I didn't trust us then. It's kind of hard to trust us now.
And
I guess Karina would like to know, do you guys need special permits to build at that level, or have you just gotten lucky thus far?
Everyone actually asks us that, but probably.
No one has confronted us.
No one's confronted us, but we did have a complaint this year because the traffic gets so bad that this lady was complaining she can't get into her driveway until midnight.
Her quote was that she is literally homeless in October.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave her a nice gift basket and we talked it out. And
kindness.
I stood, and also I stood in the street and made sure no one.
Yeah.
I made sure everyone parked on one side of the road, and I made sure no one stopped. If they stopped, I made sure they parked. So it was just one of those. That's the only issue we've had in several years besides vandalism. Vandalism's always there.
A lot of messed up pumpkins.
Now,
Michelle would like to know if you have any way to track the number of visitors that you have.
No, not really. No, for one, because especially with our new, like our yard displays like this with our full facades, it's actually more of an interactive way to hand out candy. So it's like, bring your kids, bring them all. Do we run out of candy? Yeah, that's when we start giving away our kids candy and bribing them with toys.
I'll buy you more. Don't worry.
But the funny thing about this picture is, ever since I remember.
Oh, hold on. And also, it's still in the front yard because it's so heavy.
It's the fountain.
My wife gets so mad at me every day when she pulls up after work. She's like, "You ever got to move that fountain?"
But the funny thing about this fountain is, this guy, for as long as I can remember, always wanted a 3-piece fountain.
Because of Hollywood Hunters.
And he's like, "Oh, dude, we need to can we make one?" And I'm like, well, for one, we're not going to talk about this, but kudos to you guys, because I suck at styrofoam. I've only tried it once. It's going to be a while before I do it again. But we found this piece. It was so cheap. Like, it was, well, I'm not going to say it was cheap, but it was cheap.
It was $100. I had $100 in it.
Yeah. And
it's a $1,200 fountain at the local concrete shop, but
it's 3 different pieces.
It's actually 1, 2, 3. It's
4 different pieces, different colors, and then I had to literally go back and paint it all to make it match.
Amanda Mays has a suggestion for you that perhaps, CJ, if you put some flowers in it for the spring and the summer, she might like it better.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so this right here, I don't know. Are you guys familiar with Scare Factor by any chance?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I wanted for years. I wanted them to come to the yard hunt, and they could never make it. And it was one of those things, like, it was a charity thing, so they didn't really know how to rate it and compare it to the other hunts. So back in 2018, our last year of doing the actual walkthrough, they came through, and we won a couple awards, and it was probably the best Halloween moment I've had in a long time.
And I actually didn't go to that party that night, so I didn't get to get my pretty face in that picture.
Yeah,
I'm very sorry that your pretty face was not in that picture, but congratulations nonetheless.
Yeah, congrats, guys.
Hey, that was, dude, it's one of those things, like, being at that point and actually getting a little bit of a, it's an award. It's like, you don't want to be cocky or anything like that, but it's like, we did it, you know? And on top of that, we came on stream and we have a special guest raccoon. Like, we're making it. We're doing it big over here with Haunt Bros, okay?
Hey, we're waiting for you to fill that YouTube channel up, guys.
Let's go.
The raccoon stole our GoPro. Can't do it. Sorry. It'll come. It will come.
It will.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We'll come back to you here shortly. So next up, we got Sam.
Miss Samantha Black.
Samantha. She's been waiting patiently over there.
Hey, lady. So what's the name of your haunt and where are you located?
Dead End Haunt Halloween Display, and we're in Southern California in the high desert Apple Valley. We did Carnival theme. I love clowns, and I know, people are like, clowns, but there's just something about. So I said, well, we'll try it once as a full front yard display, because I only had a little small area before when we had the walkthrough haunt. And so this is part of the west side of the front yard from the street.
Okay.
Wow, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on. I know. The Scaracel. So the top is a recycled spa cover, and I just covered it with fabric, and the little area in the middle, I just smeared glue on and glitter around the pole, literally, and I zip tied it because it was protected from the weather. So it's so cheesy, but it turned out pretty good. And those little jumpy horses that kids have, I repainted those. And then we had like a motion light on it because my husband and I couldn't figure out how to actually make anything move. And the ticket booth we had, I think, since I think we built that in 2015, maybe. So I was able to use that in this. And then I got suckered into buying the 12-foot skeleton. I thought, what the hell am I going to do with that? He doesn't really go with anything that I'm doing. So I kind of sort of gave him a clown nose and hat and hair. And I love those. I did 5x5 canvas. I painted all of those backdrop.
Beautiful.
Banners.
Wow, that's nice.
Beautiful.
Those were probably one of my favorite things that turned out.
Sean would like to know how long it takes you to set up your scenes each season.
Well, we start putting the fencing in August or first week of September, just so that we have a break, because it's a lot of post hole digging on that scene anyway. So it probably would only take a week if I actually worked at it, plus the lighting. These are just the cheapy clowns that either have masks on. I went to the dollar store and bought a bunch of funky teeth and glued the teeth on, and wigs on the one side, and the shoes. I made 23 pairs of those clown shoes out of packing tape and cardboard.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, because I only had like 2 pair, and when I looked them up, they were like anywhere from $11 to $15 a piece, and I thought, I don't have that much money for that many clowns. So I thought, well, I've done packing tape stuff before, so it looked fine.
It looks fantastic. Absolutely.
Oh, it does look great.
Yeah. Bobby would like to know props, paint, and heat. How does everything hold up there in the high desert?
Well, the latex masks don't like it too much, or latex props. So I've tried to veer away as much as I could from that. But it's the wind, really, that we have a problem with up here. We had 80-mile-an-hour winds. I don't know how many times last year.
Wow.
The yard was destroyed like 4 times.
Oh, that's
Where
a lot of work.
I just closed the blinds and cried and told my husband, I'm not even going to look. So we picked up clowns and stuff up the street at the neighbor's house.
Oh, man.
Holy cow.
Holy fuck.
80-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah. Scott would like to know, what type of paint do you use? Because it's very vibrant.
It's just cheap ass acrylic, whatever, that you get at Walmart. And then I use Oops paint as much as I can. So whatever it is, either exterior or interior, I don't care what it is. So, but I think the lighting, I use all LED lighting, and there was a lot of lights. So I think it just it lit up pretty good this time. So
Danny would like to know, how much help do you have to set up?
Me.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. My husband he'll help me drag the big stuff out, but he's like, why can't you just put a pumpkin out and give kids candy?
That's not in our blood, husband. It's not in our blood.
He sits there and he drinks beer while everybody walks up, but then they slap him on the back, and I don't care. He's having fun, and I'm happy that he's at least participating with me.
Right.
Sounds
like my wife.
Roland would like to know if you've decided on a theme for 2022.
I'm doing New Orleans Cemetery.
Ooh, nice.
So lots of big props to build. I was able to repurpose the ticket booth, the 2 big Jack in the Boxes, and one more thing, to build like the smaller double-decked mausoleums. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. So we'll see.
Therese would like to know how you keep scene continuity when you add so many new things. She says it's seamless.
Well, it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's the same way I decorate the inside of my house with antiques. Just start hammering stuff up. And at some point, sometimes I have to rearrange it, which drives my husband crazy. Here, help me, pull up this big whatever it is. But I can that's the one thing that I will say is I'm pretty good about looking at stuff and kind of seeing where there's holes or I need to do something different there. It doesn't always work out, but it looked pretty good. This year looked pretty good. It was a lot of kind of small props that drove me crazy.
Susan would like to know, how did you do the Ring of Fire? Phil, can we back up to that for a second?
Yeah. Where was that one?
I don't remember having it. Oh,
yeah. I think, I think up under, I think she might be talking about the lights at the fence line. Is that what you're talking about, Sue?
Or is it this up here? Oops. The purple.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
That's just a dollar store hula hoop with dollar store little battery lights on it.
Battery lights. How long did those last you? Did that last all night, or did they start to dim out?
It would last probably a couple of nights, and then I'd have to change the batteries.
Okay. And they didn't start to dim out on you throughout each night until you shut them off? I have that problem.
Yeah, it's kind of
batteries.
at the end. Yeah, they'd get a little, but I'm over people pretty quick, so we were usually done by 9:30. It's like, I hate you, but I want you to come and see the haunt.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's an issue.
I have a question. Did you have a raccoon problem too with your popcorn being out all the time?
You know what? We actually did have a raccoon problem,
Oh,
and
no.
she brought her babies.
Drink.
She brought her babies.
And her babies. Oh.
And her babies. She had 4 babies. Oh gosh, they were so cute. So that's just those foam peanut things, and I tried to paint them. And
that was great. That was a really clever idea.
Old wood. Dave framed it out for me. We had an old table, so we measured the table. He made it to that size, and then the fake glass on it. We had had to buy a great big giant roll when we redid the horse-drawn hearse. And so it's not quite as rigid as plexiglass or thick, but it's thicker than whatever. So we just use that.
Miles would like to know, how long did it take to turn everything on each night?
A long time, which is why you're going to teach me 12-volt wiring. Thank you.
There you go, Miles. You stepped right on into that one.
Where were you able to find these horses?
One I found at an antique store, but it was pretty cheap. I think they wanted like $25 or something. And so I thought, And the other one was at a yard sale for like $5 because they were, broke. They're not on their little springs anymore. And they're actually, if they're complete, they're collectibles. But I'd already had one and then found the second one. I could not find a third one. And I thought about trying to carve something, and I thought, nah, you're not that good with foam, so forget it.
Are these tree stands?
They're tree stands, yes.
Wow, look at that.
So that picture, yes, I hadn't, when I took the picture, covered them up with the jute at that point.
That's a clever thing. That's
that
a
is
clever.
I like that.
Yeah, you just clever, Samantha. You just clever.
Use what you got.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. What Ted wants to know, what do you do with all of this come November 1st?
Well, pretty much all of that is gone. I was only going to do that theme 1 year because it was just too many little individual things. And it was really humping it right up to the end. So we'll just bounce back and forth now between the pumpkins and scarecrows and corn theme and the New Orleans cemetery.
Oh, so you're going to redo the whole thing?
Mm-hmm. No, well, we're not going to do the Carnival anymore.
That's it. That was one
time.
So
that's like a big undertaking.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Agreed.
Look at awesome. She's like,
what I signed up for?
My husband does not want to hear, so I was thinking, because he knows it always pertains to Halloween, and that means he's going to have to kind of frame me out something.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sam. Now that we're kind of at the midway point, just wanted to kind of rehash to any new viewers. If you guys are asking a question, please put a Q in front. Just makes it easier for us to pick those questions out in all the comments that are being made. And we have some amazing prizes for you to win. Whether we get to your question or not, you are still entered into that sweepstakes to win a prize from our great sponsors. So without further ado, let's get back to the top here. And the Davises. Speaking of foam carving, Sam, I hope you got your notebook out.
I think this one was done by hand.
That was done by hand, absolutely. Actually, with just drawing on the tombstone.
Wow.
We've been doing this for a really long time. As you can see, like in one corner, that's not perfectly straight. I mean, we don't normally draw, but this was one that we have one of our crew. It's a massive star. I mean, went to the guy that made the stormtroopers hats or helmets in England. Went to his shop and got one. Huge Star Wars fan. So he hand carved this tombstone.
When Kenny Baker died,
he was heartbroken.
Now,
although we get the message from the kids every year that R2D2 died, they were so upset.
No,
I love this.
This is probably the most talked about prop in our yard, and probably the most detailed thing we've ever done.
Yeah, this is when somebody asked me what I would cost to buy it, and I gave them a number, and they walked away, and they asked me what it would cost, what they thought they could pay, and I went, that's not even the supply.
So
we need to know the numbers now, though. You said that. Now we need the numbers.
Well, we'll get there. Just gonna walk.
So this was made from Ghost Ride Productions body forms. So the female head they sell their latex heads. You can get them in rigid foam, any one of their heads. So I got a female head from them. in rigid foam, and then we got a female body form,
Mhm.
and female body forms are stand up straight,
Right.
toes out,
Toes
arms
out,
to the side.
like, completely like rigid.
And I request to have them cast one out of rigid foam for us.
And if it
breaks, it's no big deal. When it comes out of the mold, just give me all the pieces, and don't paint it or cut the flashing off. I'll do all that sanding myself. So we get a pretty good price. It's still kind of expensive.
Yeah.
And then we cut the legs, bent them, foam filled them, and resanded them so she was kneeling. We bought arms. They have latex arms that they sell. We had them cast them, so she has really good defined arms and defined hands.
But we just had to cut it and keep refitting it. Fingers, same way. We took her hand, which is like this, and we had to cut in between each finger so we could bend, so she could put her hands down.
And it's all just a matter of gaffers taping it together
and
with
heating it up
with skewers, and then filling it with expanding foam, and then sanding it all back out.
You guys make it sound so easy.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's reposed
And
plastic
monster
skeleton.
mud. The deal is this is a real monument in Barcelona, Spain. So we based this with tons and tons of photos of this Kiss of Death monument in Barcelona.
It's a revert. The statue's a male, but that we know we couldn't carve with that.
Yeah, we didn't think we could do the torso and all the muscular definition, so we went with a female because it's already curvy.
And we've been doing a monster mud for so long for us. All the detail in that, and even on the skeleton, is knowing what material to get wet and how. I mean, and there's some. This is a special belly dancing costume skirt material that gets, when it goes to monster, I can like rub it against the skeleton or the body form and just get it to sit perfectly, like it's clinging very wet without making it naked. It's still a skeleton or
How
a
much
body form.
time would you say was in the making of that?
Yeah.
Well, it took us a whole summer to build this.
Yes, this was multiple people. I mean, it's not just this is a crew of people. It's
people that specialized in and knew how to do the body form and got it set
and
right.
people could do the skeleton, and people could carve the wings,
build the base.
Yeah,
all of it was done by.
This is when we say that every person in the crew probably touched this prop at one point or another.
Beautiful.
That is just beautiful.
That's another common.
That's amazing.
Statue.
That's a body form from Ghost Ride also, or at least arms from him.
It's got the arms are from Ghost Ride, but it's just a chicken wire wooden frame.
But I'll say with people with chicken wire, that Jeff I'll let him explain it. But one thing we learned after doing a lot of like 90s props with too big of shoulders, heads the wrong way. This prop was made, I think, with chicken wire and stuff too. But what we learned is the body ratio.
We have some
scale
charts in the shop that tell you how to make, depending on the height of the prop you want to make, how big the head should be, how wide the shoulders should be, how tall it should be from a shoulder to foot, so the proportions all seem right.
So when you make it, no matter how it's made, no matter what the head's made of, the shoulders, at least they're all proportionally correct. So no matter what you cover them with, they look correct.
Yeah, so she doesn't look like she has football
shoulder
pads.
And her face is the right way because we made the neck the right distance. We've done that before. We wanted to turn a head on a prop and go, the neck needs to be longer. Well, it can't be. That's the neck of that head.
We've had a ton of questions about what you seal these monuments with.
It's all just outdoor exterior latex paint.
Mm-hmm.
So no additional sealing method whatsoever.
Nothing. No outdoor paint.
Styrofoam is weatherproof. So
yeah. Okay.
This particular one is also the same thing about posing a skeleton. And a thing we did a long time ago, we saw statues. It's really hard to tell, but in the chest of that guy is full. It's solid. If you don't see very few statues where the skeleton is carved out in small bones.
You don't see the ribs individually carved. It's usually a solid piece with just ribs, rib shapes on the outside of the stone.
Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. Ted actually said something that brings up a good question. He said, "Can I come learn?" And I believe, do you guys still do your workshop teaching? Yeah,
we do workshops in summer at our place all summer long.
So there you go, Ted. Yes, you can go learn. So I suggest you go to davisgraveyard.com and learn more about that.
One of the things that's kind of cool about this prop is the base is faux brick, but it's sitting on a pillar that was also real brick. So we color match the brick and the brick pattern. So this guy comes off, he sits on these bricks and sits on top of normally these pillars have got like these metal sconces on them. And so to hide all that, we just set another like a brick topper on it, and then it looks like he's sitting on regular brick stone.
Yeah, and for me, the skull of that demon, which is we've only made 2, is a special to us because one of our crew that was made by one of our crew is no longer with us.
Yeah, he sculpted
that for us. So
for us.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
then we made a mold of it, and that's how we cast. We have 2 of these, one on each one of the pillars in the gate.
Nice. Awesome.
Oh, Todd.
I like that.
Dude, I so love that too.
We've made that Todd has got to be 12 years. It's really showing wear right now. But we thought about doing the Charlie Brown people at least 10, 12 years ago. We've done this one and Lucy, with the mask. We also the witch mask. But that's really just we found a company online that does mannequins that are foam, not the hard mannequins. They're pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So that is a foam body form because we tried to do shapes and kids are really hard. To get the arms and proportions right. So we just buy these like $50 forms and pose them, and that's just a monster mudded sheet over the top of it with some paint on it.
That's perfect.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Aww.
That's sort of what the entrance to our display looks like, which is not a walkthrough. It's just an outdoor display.
And there's a reason for that. See, that doesn't look like a doorway at the beginning. That looks like a window because the old Abbey had a walkway, and people thought, well, how can I get in? And I'm like, you can't. So now I didn't make it look like a walkway.
So the entrance to the chapel is off to the right, and this is just a window, so it doesn't look too inviting.
And chapel is solid styrofoam. It's you can do better math
and the donation box up front is we had to do a donation box. It's not something we wanted to do, but people were sticking money and donations into our mailbox, and we were digging stuff out of our mailbox all the time. So we thought, well, maybe we should just put a box out so that people can put money in that. If we're gonna do it, we might as well make it look cool.
And we do charity stuff like the dance teams and stuff.
People
if we do
appreciate all the work that you guys did, dude. I definitely would do it. I was like, wow. I'd be like, wow. I know this costs a lot of money. Home haunting myself. I'm like,
it pays for the pizza and beer. It's
drop
kind
some
of
money in there.
Yeah, so that's our different tombstones and our mausoleum, and
this is probably half the yard.
That's half, yeah.
There to the right, there's a whole nother section of the yard that's more tombstones and a hearse. So this is like 1/2 of the display.
All right, I'm going to ask it, but for anybody who is looking to get into foam, because I know it was brought up a little bit tonight, what are like maybe 1 or 2 pointers you would give to somebody starting out?
Look up architectural.
Find a foam supplier.
Yeah,
it's way cheaper than getting it at Home
Look
Depot.
up architectural foam in Google near me, because buying it at Home Depot is too expensive. It is so much.
Chris
cheaper.
and I know where to get it in New Orleans, and we know where to get it in Texas. We know where to get it in Nashville and Wisconsin.
Because we've done it.
Because we've done shows there, and we've had to find the local foam supplier.
But it's so much cheaper, and you can get it cut pretty much almost the shape you want it. Well, Tombstones is a blank. It's a 2x4x2. I'm sorry, I did that the wrong way. But
4x8 2-inch thick sheets, and you can buy them, and we buy them in like stacks of 10,
right?
And then cut them up. But that's the main thing: is get a good place to get your foam.
That's much bigger. Those are when you have custom cuts of foam.
Yeah, so we ended up buying that in big sheets too, 6-inch and 8-inch thick pieces, and cut it ourselves.
Yeah.
But that would be the number one thing. Use the computer to print the epitaphs. Use an X-Acto knife to cut them out. It's the easiest way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can afford a hot wire hot knife, industrial hot knife, I think it's a little easier to cut shapes of foam.
But you can do it with a stick or a big stick.
But you can do it with a serrated edge knife too.
Yeah.
Is that
all in the detail?
Window all one piece?
No, it's a bunch of pieces.
He's probably 40 some pieces.
That front wall is a single piece at the bottom of the window, 2 pieces to each side of the window, and 2 pieces to the top peak. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces.
And the back's the exact same way.
And then those buttresses on each side are solid.
Yeah, that's 1 piece, and that's probably 18 feet tall.
Those are 14. It's 24 feet to the peak.
Wow.
Thing's
It's
huge.
an 8-foot. That's an 8-foot window.
The nice thing about this particular chapel, our other abbeys take 2 days for it. We can put this up in about 4 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Without any scaffolding.
No scaffolding,
Well,
no nothing. But it's
we use a set of scaffolding from Harbor Freight, the normal stackable scaffolding. We don't have to rent a scissor lift.
Wow. Now, if you guys had to pick one tool to recommend, what would it be?
what do you think? People.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, people. That's it.
Depends on what you're
Yeah,
making.
people.
That's my problem.
You know, my first reaction was X-Acto knife.
Yeah, we've done so much.
If there was one thing I had to have and I couldn't have any tools and I was at Desert Island,
I could carve tombstones out of deck knives all
I
day
could
long.
break the tombstone into the shape I wanted to, but I needed an X-Acto knife to carve it. But
awesome.
Powered tool, I would say a hot wire hot knife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Industrial.
Perfect.
That'd be my second tool I'd buy.
Awesome. And then, well, thank you guys. I wanted to give you guys a second to give any shout outs. I know you guys mentioned earlier in the show you're getting prepared for a convention, so feel free to give your shout outs however you'd like here.
We're getting ready for West Coast Haunters Convention May 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Doubletree Hotel in Portland, Oregon. So it's a smaller little show, but it's
a charity convention, so we give all our grants to teachers of deaf and autistic children. So we've been a charity convention. I think we're the only one that I know of for Halloween that's the convention's money goes back to charity.
Chris and I are on the board of directors, and we've been with the show since its beginning about 12 years ago.
Right.
Awesome. Very nice. And then where can people find some of your work for your haunt? You guys have a website?
DavisGraveyard.com or Facebook.
Yeah.
Look up Davis Graveyard on Facebook.
On Facebook? Okay. Perfect. Thank you guys so much. So much to see still. I can't get over it. So
our email and contact information is on our website. If you guys have any questions, just fire them. We'll be happy to answer them. Or on Facebook.
Perfect. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it. All right. Darren, we're going to come back to you here. You there?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So is this part of last year's theme with COVID year?
Yeah. This was the COVID theme when I did the swamp. So as you're standing from that picture, that's where you came into the yard, went to the right there, and walked around. Got to go through the shack. It had like a deck, like 3 steps up, 3 steps down.
Wow. Now, what do you use for lighting and all this?
That's
mostly
all
LED?
just no. Like I'm getting into LED, but that's all just the.
I see it now.
LED kind of. They're LED colored bulbs from Lowe's, like the Utilitech or whatever, and just in the clamp clip lights.
Mm-hmm.
So that's as you came around and got to walk up into the haunt. The rocking chair there had a wiper motor, and he was rocking back and forth, and it was playing banjo song.
So you built the
Very
whole structure
swampy.
like that stays that's just for the haunt, and like the steps going up on the deck and everything.
Yeah, so like that picture there, the actual the swamp, the shack there was Sophie's Soda Shop from the Western Town, and just repainted because when it was in Western Town it was pink. And then so I set that up and just raised it up 2 feet or so and built the deck in front of it.
Man,
So
you guys are putting way more work than I am.
That's the
into mine.
repurposing.
Jesus Christ.
And that is that's an old doll that is going. It's in every haunt somehow, some way. Even if it doesn't work, it's there.
Like an Easter egg.
Yeah, a little Easter egg.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I actually do have another Easter egg that my daughter got from Rotten Apple. you know, they have their little troll that's in every haunt. And just from watching videos and hanging out and doing stuff, she thought that was cool. So she gave me a pine cone. And there's a pine cone in every haunt.
I love
That's
that. That
for
is
her.
so cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Sean wants to know, Darren, how many scenes do you set up in your yard each season, and how long does it take to set up and take down?
How many scenes? Depends on the theme and how it's laid out. I usually try to start. I go. I guess it's a month before October.
That's it.
I do some.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I do. I do some stuff like throughout the year, like in you know, in the backyard, kind of knowing what I'm gonna do. Once I decide what my theme is gonna be next year, I start getting into it. Like right now, I'm building for this year, but once I start setting up out there, yeah, it's about a month prior.
Nice. Now, Darren, what'd you use here? I first thought it was fog, but what is this layer here?
So this is why I decided I'm never doing a swamp theme ever again.
No.
It looks awesome.
I wanted that yard to look like, you know, swampy water, and we get some good winds around here. So obviously I'm not going to do lasers. So that is just weed barrier that is stretched as tight as I can, you know, in a border. And there's a couple spots out there that had, you know, a little post to kind of help keep it up with green light underneath it. And
That's
underneath the swamp, underneath that shack there, I had 2 really big fog machines that were pumping fog through like corrugated, you know,
Oh yeah, you could see it
pipe.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, you could actually see the corrugated pipe through there. So it kind of, and you see that little seam, how it popped up. Yeah, the cats like to walk on it and unstretch it, and I would get so pissed off. But yeah, I pumped fog through the whole thing, and it worked. It wasn't what I wanted. It worked.
Great.
So that'll be this one here is this last year. We did I haven't done any gore in my haunts, and this year I decided to do it. And this was the Mitchell Campbell house. And Mitchell Campbell was it's kind of like a old horror hacker movie type thing, you know, like you broke down in the middle of nowhere. There's that one house, you might want to go ask for help and you wish you didn't.
Right.
Kind of thing. So the picture you're seeing there, if you go back, that was right at the front of the queue line. So each group that was going to go inside, that was a photo op there. They could take pictures.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
that old radio was playing. It kind of was like staticky, like you're switching through an AM channel, and every time it would come in and you could hear something, it was a news clip of what was happening in that house, talking about, you know, they found boiled body parts on the stove. It was a bloody massacre. So it kind of gave the idea of what you're about to go inside. And so that was the front door there. And I had my, that year there, I have a new guy that's joined Haydenville Haunter, Ramon, and he's awesome. And he ran that front door, and he did so good in my queue line. And I would run around throughout the queue line and throughout the haunt dressed, and had my dentures out and acting like a weirdo. People would ask, "Are you Mitchell?" And I would never answer them, so they didn't really know.
Chris would like to know, Darren, do you design your lighting with your build concept, or do you build first and light later?
I build first and light later. I build it, and then I think I spend longer moving lights around than it actually takes to build the haunt.
I'm with you there, my friend, wholeheartedly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Bobby would like to know, are you a lone hunter, or do you have any help with all these builds?
I've been a lone hunter until this last year. I found some help. He lives down the street and came by and was interested in what I was doing and helps me out quite a bit.
That's fantastic.
One more person. We just need one more person.
Right? I know.
Damn it.
So yeah, that picture there was when you walked into the house this year, the Mitchell Campbell house. It was very, just like a home, and it was playing, soft kind of classical music on that awesome old stereo that still worked in the background, and there was nothing going on in there. You were just like, it was kind of eerie that kind of music was playing in there. And once you walked around that table, you ended up in the kitchen, and that's when you saw that this isn't a place you want to be.
Did you make your own sound clip? Harold would like to know, and if so, do you recommend a certain program?
I just I looked up some old 50s style music on YouTube, and ended up just putting that on a loop.
Excellent.
Oh, and there was a TV in that front room too that was playing a disturbing video, but you couldn't hear the audio of it, but it was staticky and playing just disturbing images.
Just doing that creepy feel.
William would like to know if Hayden and Sophie enjoy Dad's hobby.
They do. This haunt you're seeing here, they didn't like going through it. It scared them. They didn't like it too well. But if you go back if you go back to that other picture there in the kitchen, I wanted to give you guys so many more photos than what I could have, but to your left there was a really long 6-foot stainless steel sink that was running red water and body parts in it. I actually got that sink from I work for the city, and it was an old vet, our animal shelter and vet. It was their surgery sink, so I brought that in. It actually had
some old ghost sound,
some decent smell to it. Right. And then once you left the kitchen, you went down a hallway. Like I said, I just couldn't give you enough pictures. You went down a hallway into a bathroom. Once you were in the bathroom, it triggered, green fog coming out of a toilet. And once that happened, this one here triggered. I told people, I said, you need to walk through it at like a 1/1000, 2/1000, 3/1000 pace.
Right.
Because if you go too fast, you're going to miss it. If you go too slow, it's not going to work. Because it had sensors in it, so when they got to a certain spot, it started playing a soundtrack and lighting. Once you left the bathroom down a hallway, lighting started doing different things, and the soundtrack started doing different things. The pictures on the wall all meant something. It was Mitchell's family. Once you got to the end of the hall, it was Mitchell. And the picture that was disturbing of a man with a leash and 5 kids in front of them, that was a drop panel. And that drop panel would drop according to the soundtrack that was playing. And
now, you said a lot of this is in your front yard, right, Darren? So is some of this in your house, in your backyard? Is this all enclosed? I mean, it really looks like an interior scene. The photos are great.
So what I did this last year, it wasn't in the front yard. I did just driveway and garage. So it was a smaller footprint this last year. I made an agreement that I will kill the grass every other year. So
I did that one time and it did not come back, and that was the end of my reign.
I know. And after it was all done and said and done, she's like, "All right, so next, like, we're just gonna kill the grass and do the yard and the driveway and the garage, and like, let's make it big as we can." I'm like, okay, yeah. So
lucky man.
We're gonna kill the grass every year. So yeah, this last year's haunt was a lot smaller footprint than what I've been doing.
Wow.
But it was a lot of fun.
So great.
So
great, Darren. Good. Thank you so much.
Darren, where can they find some of your work? Want to give a shout out to your links?
I'm on Facebook as Haydenville Home Hunter, I believe. Instagram as Haydenville_Hunter. And YouTube is Haydenville Haunter, and I promise I'm going to add some more videos. So,
awesome.
Excellent. And just a reminder to our audience, you can check out our preview post from this past Monday, where all of their links are listed as well.
Yes. Perfect. Well, thank you, Darren. Great work, man. Keep it up, and can't wait to see what next year brings.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Or this year.
That's what I was going to say earlier before I lost connection. My backdrop was a little sneak peek. This year we're going to do the catacombs, and originally I was going to do Paris catacombs, but I like other catacombs, so I didn't want to just be like strictly Paris, because I wanted to do some other ideas and stuff. But hopefully this year I'm going to do a elevator simulator, and you're going to go underground in my front yard.
Nice.
Be a lot of rock work.
Yep.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Step it up. You gotta step it up, Phil. Shit.
Yes, every time.
Every time I watch an episode, I'm like, I'm not worthy.
Hey, I always want to cry about it. I'm by myself, but every time we do a home hunt, they're all like, I just do it by myself. I'm like, damn it. No excuses.
Awesome. All right. Let's bring it back over to CJ and Matt.
Hunt Bros.
Yeah.
Hunt Bros.
Where's Ricky the raccoon? Ricky the raccoon.
Yeah.
Ricky the raccoon.
Okay.
That's beautiful work, man.
So I gotta ask, do one of you guys have like a background in construction or carpentry or anything like that?
That'd be me.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes, okay. All right.
I'm into construction, and he's a tattoo artist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, quite the duo there. Nice.
So I do painting. I've always been into art and stuff like that. So it's one of those things. It's kind of, it goes hand in hand with taking it to this level. Like going from, I don't know. It's just a different medium. That's all it is.
And if you go back to that other picture, there's only, if you see all those trees, there's only one tree actually in my front yard. All the other ones they're just branches put together like
the weeping willow is the only actual tree. And I'm pretty sure CJ blew his back out trying to get that big tree to the right of the house.
Behind the scarecrow.
He was on the roof with a rope, and I was at the bottom pushing it up, and it was a hell of a time.
I love the for sale sign too. It's like...
That for sale sign actually,
it's right here.
It's right there.
Yeah.
But that was the first time that we ever tried to corpse a skeleton.
It's just one of the plastic skeletons from the full body posable skeletons from Walmart. The $20 one.
Yeah, it looks really good how you lit it up. You got the greens going in, the head's like lit from inside looks like.
Yeah, that's actually one of Ned's LEDs.
There you go.
Oh, sponsor shout out. Sponsor shout out. Ned's LEDs.
Yep. And actually, we put in all of the windows, we put a Ned's LED pointed right to it on a flicker to make it look like a candle inside the house. Yep.
Nice.
Beautiful.
It wasn't, when it come to like lighting up the skeleton, all we did was puncture a hole in the back of it, threw that LED in there, and then he had a couple pin lights that we pointed up to the skeleton, green with the red, but with the purple backdrop, it looked good.
That's all. Ricky would like to know, guys, did anyone actually ask about whether or not it was truly for sale?
Yes. Actually, a local haunt wanted to buy it, but I guess the sale kind of fell through. I'm not sure, but it's actually the whole house is next to us.
It also confuses the hell out of people when they're driving past and they're like, "This is not the house that was here."
Oh, that's a funny story.
That's the most fun.
2 houses down. I'm pretty sure Matt was working with me that day on it, but there's a lady 2 houses down. She came by and she said, "So do you do these additions on the houses?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do, but this isn't one of those."
Everybody asked how they're like, "Oh, that's a massive addition you guys are adding there," because believe me, it gets pretty before it gets disgusting.
Now, is this a display only, guys, or do you do a walkthrough as well?
The past 2 years has been display only, but they can walk. So they can walk up onto the porch and then walk around the side, and there's a screen door like on the side. It's like the side door of the house, and you just open it and you walk down the ramp and walk down the driveway.
Right.
Very cool.
So they just walked up on the porch and got their pictures on the steps. Everyone loved to do that, and then they that's all of our little helpers.
yeah, I love it. Whose little cutie is this? This is your
up on the roof that climbed on the ladder, and he's up there by himself with no parental supervision.
They shouldn't have left me with all the kids.
Facts, because we have to get stuff done. So guess what?
They
put them to work.
They left me with all the kids alone in October. What did they think was going to happen?
Don't say with me. We're a partnership.
You wasn't there.
Probably not. My 2 kids was, so I was there in my body and soul.
I don't remember who said it earlier, but you guys are totally like the hybrid haunt couple.
Yes, that's a fact.
I don't remember who said it, but
definitely. We're definitely a partnership.
And I don't know if y'all noticed, like pretty much everything's wood.
Everything.
Because foam, for some reason, we just can't get it to work here. Like, I think Sam was talking about winds. Winds get so bad in Ohio Valley, it's horrible on the foam. Yeah. Like, even if you have it anchored down good, it snap it right in half.
Hence one reason why I said earlier, like, this will last us 1 season, because we're lucky if we don't get rained out 9 times out of 10.
That's
the same wood that we use.
That's the same wood that's used as a siding. We made it look like deck boards.
Because we actually do floors.
Yeah. So that's the Luan stuff you were talking about that's on the pallets.
It's just a top layer that's on the pallet. We just pop it off and we get it by the truckload.
They
for free.
They basically have that Luan just as a protector, because they do appliances and stuff like that. So the sheets have to be massive, and they just use it as a top layer just to be protective. And they literally put them all on a pallet. Like, after they're done with that skid, they'll put it on a pallet, and then they'll take it over to the side. And there's a little bit of detail work with my little one.
Nice.
Don't worry, we just, I had control of that machine. Don't tell nobody. She was just giving me a hand. But I would take the Dremel, because that is wood. It's easy to scratch it up, especially after you painted it. It's easy to scratch it up and just give it little textures here and there, because, like, Luan is, I don't know, it's too perfect.
It's too symmetrical.
And it's too symmetrical, and especially once you run it down the table saw, like we literally would mess up cuts just to try to give it some type of character. So I use a multi-tool.
Is that like a? Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like a multi-tool.
Harbor Freight Special.
Yes, gotta love the Harbor Freight.
I don't know if y'all have a picture of the pumpkins at night, but all the pumpkins are actually lit up with Ned's LEDs also on a flicker.
Yep. Every one of them.
Hashtag I am the Ned.
I'm going to throw this out there. Is that the Halloween facade?
No. It's
inspired by it.
It's inspired by it, but no.
When we was talking about doing this, when we both had mentioned, because he was really wanting to do it, and I was like, well, we don't like to replicate, but the thing is we always go for realism, and the only way to make something that's considered realism is like you technically you usually use real stuff, unless you're just a god with foam. Thanks, guys, because you all just I just proved that. But
I actually told him
the windows are real too.
During the Davis, sure you guys trucked in all the leaves, right? Cleaned that yard up. Yeah. They were happy as hell.
Yeah. When the Davises was on earlier, I told him, I was like, if you get me that sheep ghost, I'll get you the hot knife.
Whatever.
I actually wanted a sheep ghost for this, but I figured if I put the sheep ghost out there, people would really think it was the Myers house. But we couldn't get away from the Myers house, so we might as well just say it was the Myers house.
It was already
the only reason why I asked is because I see you guys are big Halloween fans behind you with all the
backdrop.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Oh, great. My mom is terrified of Ouija boards. Absolutely petrified of Ouija boards. I think it's cool and edgy because there's so many people that are terrified of Ouija boards. But guess what? The Parker brothers don't make their wooden Ouija boards anymore. We get the cardboard.
Oh, we were so mad. We ordered Ouija board. It came cardboard. We were so upset.
I was so upset. But that was just one of those pictures that we had put it out there, and then we had the broken swing, and then we had just the lighting and stuff, and it turned out cool.
Yeah, you could kind of see how we finished off the deck boards too.
Yeah, the deck boards was all brown.
Yeah.
But
hold on.
Yeah, very cool.
The people's gonna ask.
Uh-oh.
He's not picking
I
up
thought the raccoon was back. You all scared me for a second there.
What are you doing?
Someone asked earlier, they said, how can we weatherize the Luan? It's this.
Oh, porch and floor. Okay.
Walmart, $10.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice.
That's just
this is one of my favorite pictures because you can kind of see how we broke up the roof.
Yeah, the roof. I would go out to the road and I would tell him straight up, I'm like, dude, we need to make it bigger. And we took, what did we use? Was it 2x?
No, we used Luan. We cut Luan in
little thin strips,
2-inch strips, and then kind of like basket weaved it together, and then stapled the wooden shingles to it, and made it look like an old Victorian style roof.
We cut out so many tiny shingles out of Luan.
Incredible. Sean wants to know, and I know you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. Do you recycle all your wood every season, or how long do you keep it and then swap it out?
Actually, one of our the facade you're looking at here,
the Myers house,
we actually gave that to our friend Travis Bowling. He owns 7th Street Haunt, and now it's American Horrorplex.
Yeah. So technically, yeah, we recycled it, but we gave it to another great.
Yeah, we just gave it to a friend of ours. He looks out for us. We look out for him when we can.
Right on. Haunt fam right there. Cool.
Yeah, just small little things. The 669.
Yeah, so we literally add these types of things in just to make his mom cringe.
That's all it is, dude. It's one of those things like you look at it and it's like, oh yeah. No,
that's behind you on the wall.
666.
Isn't it? Is that you got that on the wall behind you right
Yep.
now, don't
Yep,
you?
it's right there.
Yep.
Very
We
cool.
was actually, oh man. There
Oh, go
it
ahead.
is.
Keep going.
So
Sorry.
Look at the broken
Oh.
phone screen too.
Yep.
So if you go
You guys
back
have an
to our
announcement
humble
to make.
beginning,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you have an announcement to make too. So let's talk about this first.
okay, so this is when, so basically we had that cool neighbor next to us. This is my old house. It's a childhood house.
Yep.
But all the pallets, when I told you guys my dad was sick, so all the pallets for this haunt that year came from a Dallas truck because my dad was doing in-home dialysis, and the pallet truck driver, or the truck driver that delivered his bags for the dialysis, he came one day and just had a whole bunch of pallets on the back of the truck. And I was like, "Hey, can I get those?" And he's like, "No, man, I'll get in trouble because people resell them." I was like, "Well, I'm not going to resell them." And then I told him what I wanted to do. And he came by the next day with probably 3 times as many as he had the first time. And me and my dad started building this. And then I went and I told Matt about it, and he was working at McDonald's at the time. And he wouldn't answer the phone. It pissed me off.
Surprise.
So I was just like, you know what? I knew he was working drive-thru, so I just went through the drive-thru.
He did. So came through the drive-thru, didn't even order nothing. He just pulls up.
Yep.
What's up?
I just pull up to the first window. I'm like, "Hey, you want to help me build a haunted house?" And he's like, his response was, "A haunted house? For what?" I was like, "I'll explain later. Just come by the house." And he comes by and he sees this.
Oh yeah.
So him being the artist that he is, he's like, "What the hell is this?"
Hey, that thing turned out badass. I don't care what no one says. That brought so many people around. It was heart and soul, and it was one of those things. Like I was talking to my fiance the other day. I was like, "Man, look at the outside of it." I was like, "Oh," and then we were like, "But the inside was awesome." And she's like, "That's all that matters, right?" I was like, "For what we were doing, yeah."
Yeah.
We
all start somewhere. We all start
Yeah,
somewhere.
exactly.
Yeah, somebody asked earlier. They asked about how we kept up with the people, like tracking how many people came through. We charged $1 per person to get through it, and we raised $4,000.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
So,
Awesome.
And it all went to
my parents.
That's
the
fantastic.
parents.
And so that was our beginning. I kind of wanted to show that picture just because people they see their graveyard and our facade on the front of our house, and just everybody's like these big elaborate displays, and they get I don't know how to get, what is the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea right now.
They get overwhelmed by it, and they see it, and they're like, "Oh man, we're never gonna be able to do nothing like that."
Oh yeah, don't ever think that.
We all start somewhere.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, hell, we made a little castle entrance.
Yeah, like I just wanted to show that because, like, just to show people, like, don't get down on yourself because you think yours isn't what these other people's are.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me tell you, when I first saw Hollywood Haunted House facade, I was like, "Holy crap!"
Yep.
And I just had to do it.
Dude, he used to talk about him so much.
And what about that announcement y'all have?
Uh-oh.
So, someone asked me earlier in the comments, they said, "So what do you like better, home hunt or promo hunting, since you did both?" And home hunting is where my heart's at, but I think we've outgrown the yard.
Yeah, buddy.
So we have somebody that's invested in Hunt Bros, and we have us a permanent spot, and we are opening up a hunt this year.
Congratulations!
Congrats, guys.
So we're working on 1 attraction and 3 escape routes.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Good luck, guys.
it's weird.
Awesome.
Do what?
No, I just said that's awesome, guys.
Yeah, it's weird going from, doing our little yard hunts and stuff like that. And, it's one of those things, like, we're both younger guys, and it's like, we've had false promises throughout the years. It's like
so bad.
And it's like you think that you're going to do stuff, and we'll bring it out like our YouTube channel. We're like, oh, we're going to do this, do this, do this. Nothing gets done, and it's like this time it's pretty promising.
Yeah.
And
so Diablo, you're gonna get videos. I promise.
Don't worry, you'll get the video.
I'm not gonna release the theme
I've been
yet, but
waiting
we
for
already
like
have
a
the
year,
theme.
man. I've been waiting for like a year.
I know, but we was
Checking back.
supposed to get a building and everything a year ago.
I keep checking back.
COVID
I was
just,
like, man.
Yeah, COVID just hurt everything.
Yeah. Congratulations, you guys. And thank you so much for being with us tonight. And again, guys, please go back and check the preview post to find all their deets and what have you. And
yeah, so if you're in Louisville or the surrounding areas, just follow the Haunt Bros page and we'll keep you guys up to date.
Awesome.
Because it's coming.
Thank you, guys.
I promise.
Thank you, guys. And we all want to know the how things go with Ricky the Raccoon.
Yeah. Yep. So keep it up in the comments. Awesome. All right, Sam, we got some photos of yours to show.
Well, that's just, I repurposed the little creepy kids from last year. That's them on the right with their mama. And everything is just, I think I only had a couple of mannequins. It's just PVC bodies filled out. Twisty, with the moose knuckle from before, got a new outfit. So we've corrected that problem.
I think the mama with the kids is like the creepiest shit I ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, the little trick-or-treater, I love that.
Yeah.
The little one with the Joker hat on, that's a doll that's like kid size.
Oh,
So I had a hard time keeping her standing up even with rebar, but just the way she was, the angle of her head and stuff, she looked creepy.
She's definitely very, very creepy. And, I think it was Sean that might have asked earlier tonight, Sam, how did you come up with where did you find all of these clown costumes, or did you make them, or did you thrift? How did you find all these?
Most of them I made. I had some that I did find at thrift stores, but it was a lot of sewing, making shoes. Halfway through it, I thought, oh, why did I decide to do this theme and try and fill? Because we have almost an acre, so I don't know how big the front yard. It's a big yard, just to try and fill it, because there was just too many voids, and I'd be back in here sewing again. And then I got to the end, I was just hot gluing shit together. I didn't even
Yes.
It stayed. It held what it needed to hold on to. So I didn't care.
That's what matters. I can't sew for nothing. Hot glue is my sewing machine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are my banners that I just loved how those turned out.
You made them?
She did. She painted them. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's 5x5 piece of canvas.
Did you use like a projector to like get it to?
Yeah. Well, the first one I just winged it. I don't even think there's a photo of that. And then I thought, obviously, I'm not that good at detail drawing, so I traded for one of those old school overhead projectors.
Nice. Wow. Oh, amazing.
Oh, there's the funky one on the left.
What's your favorite? Trish wants to know, what's your favorite thrift find that you turned into a prop?
Actually, it might be right there. That old suitcase was a couple bucks, and I was born in 1959. Yes, I'm old. And I am Bozo the Clown. It wasn't like a big deal to do, but it just was kind of one of those sentimental things.
Yeah, and that one you were talking about being funky, are you talking about the real and alive one on the left? Looked great to me.
Yeah. Great.
That one, yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. When you say canvas, Katrina wants to know, do you mean tent canvas, canvas drop cloths, or actual stretch and pull canvas for artists?
The 5x5 drop cloths, like at Home Depot.
Okay, the canvas drop cloths.
It soaks up a lot of paint though, so you have to be kind of ready for that. But because they were kind of heavy at the end, but they held up.
Awesome. Ricky Dick says, "Class of '59 for the win." Whoop, whoop.
Yay, Ricky! Oh, so that normally is a hearse where there's a real casket inside with a window and drapes. And I thought, oh, we'll just zhuzh it up a little bit. And I painted coroplast. That circus. I tried to do an old timey medicine wagon thing. That the artwork on those and the lettering is so intricate with all the different stuff that I just gave up and just painted over it and did just a quick and dirty job. But it looked okay at night. So
it looks fantastic. What type of lighting?
I can't believe all the stuff you have in your yard. Oh my God.
I know.
That banner, I did 300 feet of cloth banner, all that banner in the background that you see hanging above everything.
The flag banner?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I had all this fabric, and for some stupid reason, why I didn't just buy it from like Oriental Trading, the plastic crap, and then just throw it away. No, I had to do real cloth.
Right.
It looked good though.
It absolutely did. Let's talk about your lighting for a second, Sam. Are you using LED, pin spots, floodlights? What do you got going on?
LEDs, like the 3-watt LEDs that you can do 16 different colors.
Okay.
And then some
remote control.
The remote control, yes. Okay. And regular landscape lights in just white, and I bought some gels if I needed to do that. And then I have some or I guess they're bigger LEDs, but they're more like floodlights that are 20 watt and 50 watt. And then I have one that's 100 watt. But there's a lot of lights, boxes and boxes and boxes of lights.
Dude, I just love these vintage looking pumpkins, man.
Yes, awesome. On the cart. And those wheels, where did you find that?
Okay, so that's a real wagon. So our front yard, we have a lot of big pine trees, and over the years it sterilizes the soil. So you can't really grow grass or anything. And so we like the old kind of desert looking yard art. So we have 3 or 4 wagons out there, different types of wagons. And those are just the cheap little dollar pumpkins. I painted them, put the little clown noses on them. They turned out great. I got them at Walmart when they went on clearance for like 10 cents a piece. And I bought 500 of them.
Woo! Yeah.
I don't know. I probably bought at least 150 of them. Everything we just had a train of carts of plastic pails.
Wow. And you painted them each individually.
Yeah.
It is so awesome. I love them.
That was kind of a cute thing for the kids, that wasn't too scary. I'm not used to not doing scary. So we built those Jack-in-the-Boxes are 5 by 5 by 5. And then the guys in the middle, that whole thing was about 10 feet tall, both of them. And that's the garage in the background. I bought, I don't know how many yards of that striped satin. And then the Home Depot Jack-in-the-Box.
Incredible.
Love the creativity with all the different characters.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
That's just another repurposed PVC body from the year before. I don't even think I changed his clothes. He just got a sloth head and some lobster claws on it.
Did you make those lobster claws?
No, I bought them off the internet somewhere.
Okay.
But the right side of the yard, we did, I guess it was about a 50-foot midway with booths.
Wow.
Where we had, I don't even know if I have a good picture in there of the whole thing, but there's some of Angie Fran's corn. That effing corn.
That effing corn. Where's your jar? Where's your jar?
Yep. Oh, here it is right here.
Yep. Angie Franz and the homemade corn stalks, which you said you made how many of them? It took you how long?
52. I don't know. It took me months, and it crippled my hands and my arms for about a year and a half. No, I mean, no joke. It was like,
yeah.
Even the Nutcracker.
So this was our little photo op. Those were the Alan Hops tutorial on how to make toy soldiers. And I don't do the C word anymore because of Halloween. And so I thought, well, I'll just kind of put a Halloween spin on them. So I made Mr. first. And then I thought, well, he needs a Mrs. to go with him.
So creative, really.
Super clever. Yep.
The hair idea was my friend Courtney Lane Clappert's how to do her hair. I figured out how to do her hair. So it was like, she said, just use pool noodles. She made a wig that way. So it was an awesome idea.
Wow.
Yep. Oh, Alan heard your shout out.
Yay, Alan.
Awesome toy soldiers, he says.
Tell him thanks. My wife's seen that one too.
They're not that hard to make. That was awesome.
Angie wants to know, when do you start opening your haunt? When is it all set up and ready to go?
The 2020 and 2021, I got overly excited and I was ready by October 1st. So I went ahead and turned the lights on. But I found that doing it that early, though, I don't get to see other people's haunts because they don't start till later. So I think I'm going to try and delay as long as I can. We'll see. I don't know. I'll probably turn the lights on again October 1st because I'll be crazy again. This is the Oriental Trading Company. I think she's like 6 foot tall, or the mermaid that they had. So I modified her skull, her teeth, and parts of her with the 2-part epoxy sculpt, I guess it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And, heat gunned her. I remember Alan Hops saying about your skeletons, don't just leave the fingers straight, like heat gun them. And so all my skeletons now get their manicures. And then we built that aquarium looking thing for her. And so the whole thing was about 7 foot tall, I guess.
Is that a big piece of acrylic or plastic on the front for the
That's
the
the
tank?
same plastic that I used on the popcorn machine, and that what's on the window for the hearse that you can't see.
Nice.
I got it somewhere down in Southern California. It's a special. That's my friend next door, Linda. So I had that costume, and I said, "Do you want to be Scare Bear?" And so my husband and I dressed up as versions of clowns or something to do with the circus. And the kids absolutely loved her. And she was just hilarious. In between people walking up, she'd just mutter under her breath, look at these a-holes. I'll bet I could scare these a-holes. And it was just weird to hear this voice come out of that. And then the kids wanted to hug her. And she's like, oh, my God, please. I was laughing the whole entire time. She was fantastic. So I'm trying to figure out, how do you work Scare Bear into New Orleans Cemetery for this year? I don't know.
Ted wants to know if you were doing a nightly walkthrough or was it just the weekends?
We were doing it every night.
No wonder you couldn't get out to see anyone else.
Yes,
my goodness.
every
night. Hard working haunter lady.
Yay.
Well done, Sam. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate you so much. Right on.
Yes. Well, okay, there we go. Thank you guys for coming on. Sam, great work. Keep it up. Can't wait to see what you have for this coming year. And yeah, I know we went over a little bit, guys, but we just wanted to make sure that we got everything fixed on the front end with the technical issue. So thank you for bearing with us. And I'm going to pass it over to Pandora now to give away some amazing prizes tonight.
Yep, absolutely. You got it. So again, thank you so much to our guests, Chris and Jeff Davis, Davis Graveyard, Darren Talmadge, Matt and CJ, the Haunt Bros, Samantha Black. Thank you so much. You guys were amazing. Thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you so much as well to our sponsors and our audience for asking questions and being here with us. And with that, for ornaments, Creepy Christmas Tree goes to Anna Martin.
Yay, Anna!
Toxic Effects, the Christmas Boo goes to William Heckler.
Woohoo!
Fright Night Studios, the Pig Leg goes to Kenzie Paris.
Yay!
Scarlet Badges, 10 assorted badges to Stephen Freeman.
Woohoo!
916 Productions, $25 off to JC Smith. Halloween Shirt Company, free shirt to Craig Hoffman.
Yay, Craig!
Craig, when you contact Diablo, please make sure you include your shirt size with that message to him. Congratulations. Froggy's Fog, gallon of bog fog to Ted Dennison.
Yay!
Ned's LEDs 5-pack sampler to Vic Springston. Drop Dead Design Studios 25% off goes to Mike Clark. Nightmare Makers, 2 unfinished skulls to Amanda Mays.
Yay, Amanda.
Sam Haynes free download to Chris Peterson. Atmos Effects free download to Joe Wolf Ritchie. Bright Props $25 off to Chris Stone.
Yay, Chris.
Rotten Prop Works set of zombie arms to Susan Subert. Monsters Alive grab bag prize to Trish Mabers.
Yay, Trish.
Cobwebs and Candlesticks grab bag to Katrina Manis. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations again. You have until Saturday night to contact Diablo via Facebook Messenger to claim your prize. If it's a physical prize, please include your mailing address. And again, to Craig Hoffman, your shirt size. And we appreciate you guys all so much. Our guests, our sponsors, our audience, thank you for being here.
Yes, and I just want to say one more thing to add on is, like we said in the beginning of the episode, VFX is also going to be giving away a big prize at the end. They're another amazing sponsor of us, so just want to make sure that they get a big shout out. And the other thing, when you guys win a prize, please share it to the Hangout. It just shows support to our sponsors, whether it's a physical prize or use the coupon code to get a gift, basically a gift. Just share it to the Hangout, and it really would help support our sponsors. So thank you guys.
And don't forget to go visit all the links and the websites for our guests tonight as well, guys. Thank you.
Right. I want to thank everybody to come on. You guys were great. Your haunts are like totally amazing. I'm sure we all need to step it up now after watching this show. You guys are great, and we have a show every week coming up until the 10th show, and that'll be our season finale. I want to thank all you guys once again for coming on. Make sure you guys go to all of our sponsors for all your haunt needs. We thank them for giving out all the prizes throughout the year, and that's it. Thank you.
Haunters for life. Woo-woo!
Woohoo! Thank you. Good night, guys.
I'm going to end this other one, too.